Remember to remember. This is a poster that I have up on my wall. This is showing us how this right here is your memory. So you'll learn something right here, and this is when you intake the knowledge. So say you're reading a history book, you read about Caesar, you're like, bang, I know about Caesar. But then as time goes on, which is this axis here, as time goes on, you slowly start to lose that information. You start to lose that memory. And so this is over a 3-month, let's just say this is over a 3-month time span. By the time you get to right here, you barely know it. And what this is also showing is that the effect of you learning Caesar, so maybe you don't need to know that right away. Maybe you learn Caesar and then 3 months later you have a test on Caesar. Now you have lost all of that information, and at the time that you need it, you actually have to relearn it and go back into the study of it because you have forgot it, you have lost it. So that by the time you need it, which here's the effect, by the time of you studying, you have already lost the information. So why is this important? Well, this is important because in life, we take in a lot of information. You're on YouTube right now, in fact, and it's just a flood of information that you take in, and you have to sort through this information and go through and figure out what actually is critical information and information that you want to keep with you and go forward and use in your life in the real world. But after you have this critical information, the most important part of having it is actually acting on it. And acting on it can be a little bit trickier for the sole reason that we forget. And when we forget, we can no longer use the critical information. And when we don't have the information we need, what do? So we go on YouTube, we get the critical information, we find it, we're like, this is really useful. Then 3 months later, we've forgotten the information, but now we really need to use it. So we really need, for the example of Caesar, we really need to take that test. So what do? We go back on YouTube and we have to spend time sorting through that information again. This is not only bad for your time, it's inefficient. This is bad for your memory because it's constantly having to sort through new stuff instead of just retaining the stuff that you already know works. This is the same with movies. If you're watching a movie, this happens for myself all the time. I'll watch a really good movie and I'll be like, man, that's a really good movie. I want to watch that again. But I never put it down on a list. So now the next time I want to watch a movie, I don't go through all the effort of looking for that movie again. What I end up doing is I'll go on whatever site I'm on and I'll just pick a movie. I'll just watch a movie, and 9 times out of 10 that movie is garbage. There's a lot of garbage movies out there right now. But I could have prevented this all if I kept a list. Now, I'm the type of personality where I can watch a movie over and over and over again. Now, I'm not saying within the same week or the same month or even the same year. But year over year, I'll come back and I'll watch the same movies again. I really like the Jason Bourne series, so every year I'll come back and watch those. What I've now introduced is a system where I put all of my movies into an app that I've watched, and I rank them. Was this good? Was this bad? And now whenever I want to watch a movie, if only for the inspiration of what movie I would like to watch, or the movies that I do like watching, I'm able to go into this list and find what I would like to use. So, by me doing that, let me just zoom it back in here. Like this. By me taking this information in, so this is me watching the movie. Now, we'll just say for this example, it's a year later, I want to watch a movie, but I don't know what movie to watch. Now, I can act as if I know all of that information. I can have the same benefits of having this information. When I go back on my phone, I look at the list, and then I'm like, oh, I would like to watch that movie again. And bang, I have used the effect. The effect has taken place. It took a year, but now I am not having to spend more brain space, more time to analyze what movie I want to watch in this example. This is, in business, this is very prominent, because in business you have to do stuff over and over and over again. When I was cold calling, oh my goodness, I literally would go and I'd learn a piece of information and I'd learn a good script, and the script was really good and I should have kept with the script. But what I'd end up doing is I'd take this really good script, I'd try it for 3 weeks, it wouldn't work that well. Actually, if I did it for 3 weeks, it probably would work. I probably would try it for 3 days, is what I meant. I'd try it for 3 days, I wouldn't get results, and then I'd be like, this script doesn't work anymore, and I'm gonna give up. I'm not gonna use this script anymore, and I'll find a new script. Or even worse, I'll go and I'll give up cold calling, because I think cold calling doesn't work. And it's not the script. It could totally be, I could totally have the correct information. I could. But if I am going and I'm not using that information over and over again and critically using it, it won't work. Like, this could take a long time to compound. Maybe it isn't the script. Maybe the script is perfect, but maybe it's my tonality. Or maybe it's something that I'm doing while I'm distracted and I'm not having quality conversations with the prospect. Maybe it isn't the script. So by me repeating and doing it over and over again and making sure that I retain that critical information, by making sure that the essential parts of what I've learned stay in my work, I will reduce so much time of me going on YouTube, researching new scripts, going on YouTube, finding new videos, going on IMDb, researching random movies that I don't need to do because I already have an arsenal at my disposal. So I think a very valid action step that you could take, how I like to treat action steps is you want to do the smallest possible action, even if you think you could do bigger action. If you think you could do a lot, and I'll get rid of all, for example, if you want to fix your dopamine, so many people suggest monk mode. They're like, get rid of let's go, we're gonna do nothing. Generally, you don't do it. So what I like to do is I'll take the smallest possible step. So literally that step could just be getting a Google Sheet and starting writing down the movies you watch. And maybe this isn't super productive for you, but it's building a habit. And now you're tracking your movies and you can come back and you're recollecting this and then you're like, this is really useful. Your brain, it clicks in your brain. It's, oh my goodness, this is a good technique to use. So then it's like, this works. Let's go and let's do that with my books. Now you start doing that with your books and then you're like, now I'm going to do that with my YouTube videos. If I find a critical information on a YouTube video. Actually, let me just pull this up for you real quick. Over here. Right here. So this is eventually what you can get up to. Let me just zoom in here. So this is my niche dictionary. So I run a marketing agency, and with that, I'm always wanting to learn more about my target niche. So when I'm doing that, I'll actually go through and I'll watch YouTube videos. And if I find a piece of critical information, so right here, I found this right here in this video here about the best ads for moving companies. I found a piece of critical information. So I tagged it in the time that I consumed that content. Let me fix that. I tagged it. I have the link to the video, I have the timestamp, and I have what it was talking about. So here you can see a few more. I was talking about live, if this is about apartment moves, this is about other stuff. Right here it says critical information. He said that email campaigns to realtors were really effective. So now me going forward, if I need to learn something or if I have a question about that, I can just go Control F and I can look up realtor. And then bang, I have a realtor right there and it's accessible to me and I can instantly go and find it. Let me put it back. So action step right now, go and create a list and just start putting down, if you don't watch movies, put down the books you've rate them. I'll link an app in the description. It's open source. It's really easy to use and is free that you can use to start tracking stuff like that. And then it actually does it where it just asks you questions about it instead of you having to rank it. So then everything actually is ranked when you put it in based on, even if your preferences change, it'll adapt with your preferences. So I'm going to end the video here. I've already rambled on for quite a bit. I hope this is useful for some of you out there and I'll see you in the next one.